Welcome to whatever this is. I don't even have a title yet of what to call this podcast, but
Here we are.
it's something related to video games. I don't even know if it's going to be specifically related to video games, but we'll see. Uh,
We'll see.
yeah, so today we're talking about Blueprints, the the surprise hit. Some are already calling it Game of the Year. Um, People really like this game,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of surprised that people love it so much. Not because the game is not because the game is bad or anything. It's just this type of game.
Yeah, not everybody's like into puzzle games.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get into that. But first, I kind of want to start this off by asking the other person what they've been playing. I'm usually not going to have another person. Usually, I think I'm going to record these on my own when I play or when I finish a certain video game and I want to have a discussion. I'll just have a discussion by myself. I know it's kind of lonely. But whenever I do have a guest, I guess you would be the guest. I'm going to ask them what they've been playing. So, Mia, what have you been playing? That's not Blueprints, of course.
Yes. Hi, I'm Mia, by the way. And who am I talking to here?
You're talking to Luis.
Yeah.
I probably should say my name.
Yeah, probably. What have I been playing? I don't know. Blueprints. Have I been playing much besides that? I don't feel like it. I went on a bit of a I don't know. I played quite a bit of Supermarket Simulator before
Mm-hmm.
this. I haven't played that in a while though. I kind of
You
I don't know.
were really into it for a good month, nonstop.
Yeah, yeah, probably longer than that even. I was going through a stressful time, and it was kind of like therapeutic almost, just kind of like organizing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm weird, and I like to organize. I mean, there's other people like that. It's not that crazy, but like I'm the type that I go into like comic book store or something, and I don't know, everybody else is excited about the comics, and I'm like, ooh, this looks like this would be fun to sort and organize, and like, I don't know. Or like if we play board games, I really like the design of the packaging when everything can like fit in and be organized a certain way. Like I'm that type of person, so yeah, I enjoyed Supermarket Simulator for that, and I enjoyed Blueprints because we have to be somewhat organized with this and plan and strategize and
Mm-hmm.
take notes. I'm a note taker, so that part was fun.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah, I
like
don't.
you don't often get really addicted to video games,
Oh, I
but
played Hogwarts Legacy, I guess.
you weren't like crazy like every day I gotta play it. Like this one, you would play it almost every day, and you would leave it on and just have your little cashiers do the work for you or something.
I mean, that's the thing I didn't like about the game. Like, I wish you could just kind of like speed through the day almost, but there's a lot of just kind of like waiting,
Yeah.
which I didn't like as much. But yeah, I guess Hogwarts Legacy I played more recently because
Hmm.
somebody gave it to you for a birthday present like a couple years ago
Yeah.
when it was like new. And then I'm more into like Harry Potter stuff. And then I started playing it, and then something happened where I stopped, and then I finally picked it up again this last year, and I played that pretty consistently. Especially when like if you weren't here, that's
Hmm.
like what I was doing. And I like completed almost everything in that. And again, it was something like all these little things to track down, and I would just put on a YouTube video in the background and be like collecting everything and doing all these little tasks, which sometimes I don't like,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason in that game I did. I think that was one of my problems with like the Final Fantasy VII remake games. Sometimes there was a lot of little side quests that I just didn't care about.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that also kind of pertains to this game, Blueprints. Sort of the issue I have with it, and I'm sure you kind of have the same issue. But I think that's kind of that thing where like it's it just depends how much you want to put into it and get out of it. Um, and a lot of games are like that where they have this like all this supplemental material that you can either do or just for it completely ignore, and I feel like
Mm.
it still would be the same game. Um, but yeah, that's something we'll get into with Blueprints.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's yeah. From what saw you play of Hogwarts Legacy, it looks like a really really well done game.
Yeah.
Like they treated the property really well, and it just seems like it's a great RPG type game, and yeah, just flying around the world, the Hogwarts, like I was surprised how much liberty you have to just go anywhere you want and sort of figure out the actual typography of like all these areas. You
Yeah.
know,
You know, it was really, the
like
world was pretty big, and it's nice that you can just fly around it.
I guess I never thought that Hogsmeade was like really close by. I always thought it was like in some other state or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly where it is in relation, if it is like that close. I
Mhm.
mean, it's fairly close though, because that's where they go on their like field trip thing or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but I guess they never really tell you how far it is in the movies. I guess every time they travel, I always assume they're just like teleporting or something.
App,
But I didn't.
operating app. How do you say it? To operate.
Hmm.
I think that's it. I'm a little rusty on all this.
Or teleport by flu powder or whatever it's called.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So what have you been playing? You've been playing more.
Yeah. So this podcast is going to be my thing because I do play more video games. So maybe I don't. We won't have as much to say when it comes to that question. What have you been playing? But maybe you'll play some stuff on your own sometime.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I do every once in a while.
but yeah, I've been playing Expedition 33. Well, it's the official name is Claire Obscure Expedition 33,
Which is also a big hit.
which is also a surprisingly big hit that nobody expected. Um, it's yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to talk more about it just because I kind of want to do a podcast on it on my own later on, just on this game because it is really good. The story is incredible, and the combat, if you like that type of combat, is very unique and action packed for being a turn based game. Uh, but there's definitely more. There's definitely a lot to say about just the whole tone and vibe of this game. You know, it being French and about French culture. Um, like right down to their clothing, the the sort of mythical creatures in this world to the music. The music is, it's literally right up there with being one of my favorite of all time. This is just so good.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I just learned about this recently. All the music is in French, but it's an old French dialect that nobody really knows or really speaks anymore. So it was, I've been watching like these musicians like and try to analyze it, and they're like, yeah, they're not really speaking French. They're speaking like some older French or something, or singing it rather. So that just goes to show how stylized and just how much effort went into putting this sort of piece of art, called Expedition 33.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing that. I'll talk about it more in another podcast.
I did hear.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I heard like that supposedly like people are saying that it was like a 30-person team that made it or something, but supposedly that isn't true, and that the creators are like, no, don't say that because that's just like making it impossible for other studios to. It's setting unreal expectations.
Yeah.
Is that the game that like keeps getting that like?
Yeah, there's something about
That
this
about
game.
it?
They keep asking how many people developed this game, but that's always been sort of the issue with people in this medium, especially
Yeah.
when Baldur's Gate 3 came out.
Oh yeah, that was another.
All of a sudden, this game is just the best game ever. A company that treats its people really well, pays them really well. And it's like, everybody wants that to be the standard. But like, really no game is as as to that high of a standard and will never be. So they're sort of
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah, but
it's like
the
always an uphill battle.
working in a place where people are treated well and everybody's like paid and happy and stuff is a little bit of a, that shouldn't be looked at as an unreal expectation versus like being able to do this massive hit game with only 30 people. Like I can see how that is an unreal expectation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I saw something about that in passing, so I'm like, I think that's the game that they were talking about, right? I found it interesting that supposedly the developers were even like, no, it wasn't that many people. We had more. Don't don't keep spreading this lie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I feel like this industry just likes to really compare itself to other games or compare games to other games when it comes from the development side. But every development is different.
Yeah.
Every company is different. All the people are different. So it's like sometimes it's not fair to compare two companies.
Yeah.
Especially with this game, who was a solo developer of Blueprints.
Mm-hmm.
People could ask, "Wow, this is such an amazing game developed by one guy," and look at these AAA studios not, coming up with shit products or whatever. But like, it's different because this guy, he loves puzzles. He's been working on this game for more than 8 years.
I was going to say, this is like almost a decade in the making,
Yeah.
right?
Like it just didn't all of a sudden come out of nowhere, right? Like, no, he's been devoted a chunk of his life to this game.
Yeah.
This guy.
One very passionate person.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we'll talk about that later, I guess. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. Cool. Let's get into our next segment, which will be our questions. Question segment. All right, Mia. First question for you. What's your history with puzzle games? And that doesn't necessarily mean just video games.
I mean, I feel like when I think of like one of the first puzzle games I played, probably like Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a puzzle type game, right? Does that count? Okay.
I guess. Sure.
I mean, it's some type of like, thing. Having to quickly think about how things can piece together and everything. It's puzzle-ish. I like puzzle style games. I'm that person. I like escape rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I like board games. I especially like getting to like work with people. It's a fun aspect to things, and you're more competitive where you do enjoy the challenge against people.
Mm-hmm.
You want to compete against them, and I would rather work with them. I feel like the problem with competitiveness is like if I get really into it and get super competitive, then if I like lose, it's just like even more upsetting. So I'd rather not feel that. And I'd rather just, I don't know, be okay winning or losing. But I always try to win.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is still to win usually. Or if I think that there's like no way in chance I'm going to win, I try and like find some other goal for myself to achieve. Like in Monopoly, I always try to get Boardwalk and Park Place, and I would like trade everything just to get those. I'm trying to think of other like.
I should have prefaced this by saying that you really love puzzle games, and this, Blueprints is like the perfect game for you.
Yes and no. I mean, we'll get into that clearly, but
like, who else would this game be for if not you?
Yeah. But I don't know, there's people that are like at a whole nother level of like puzzles than me. I will say I do Sudokus all the time on my phone. I do the ones from like there's these guys on YouTube. I think they're called Cracking the Cryptic or something, and they have these like complicated Sudoku puzzles. And I can't do like probably 90% of the ones that they do. But the ones that they solve in like 20, 30 minutes, I can usually do those, and so I'll do those, and they're fun, and they're more complicated than your normal Sudoku because they have different rule sets and everything. So yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I like mentally stimulating games. What's like other like popular puzzle games though?
Just in general? Or video
yeah,
games?
like why am I video games?
I mean, there's Portal. Portal is a puzzle game.
Oh yeah, Portal. I loved Portal. Yeah, that was fun. That's a total Mia game, and that's fun because we got to do the sequel co-op.
What about
yeah, those are. Yeah.
What about not Blueprints. The Witness. Remember that? Which was this game is very heavily inspired by, according to Wikipedia.
The Witness is the one that I always forget what it's called. But yeah, I played that a lot. I don't think I like solved it all. I feel like I did pretty decently. And then there's some what are they called? There's the Room games on like I have them on iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like the Room 1, I guess it's called the Room Pocket, Room 2, 3, Old Sins, and those ones I all played, and they're kind of more like point and click type solve puzzles. Sometimes though, my problems with games especially when you're playing it on like a computer or something, is there's only like a certain thing you can do. Like I used to play the like escape games back when it was like, gosh, what was that one website called? There was like a website that always had like miniclips.com or something. What was it called?
Mm-hmm.
With a bunch of like stupid little computer games. And they'd always have like escape games.
Newgrounds?
No. I don't think I ever actually used that website. But you know what I'm talking about, those like little games that are like point and click, and but like you kind of can solve the puzzle on your own, but at a certain point you can also just like click and you can only move forward if you do the thing correct and you combine these things, and so it's a little too easy versus Blueprints. Blueprints is definitely a different level of like, no, you have to piece these things together, and there's definitely a way to do it, but you can't just like stumble into it.
Right.
So I do like the challenge of that better. But yeah, I don't know. I like puzzle games. I like all kinds of puzzles. I like jigsaw puzzles even. What about you?
I'm trying to remember what was like the very first puzzle game I played. Definitely Portal was one that I played a lot, and that I feel like that's been one of my favorite games of all time. But it's not because I feel like I'm not really a puzzle person. Like I'm not like I don't pick up a game just because it's a puzzle game. I only really played this one because I knew you would like it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I actually didn't think that this game would have some story, and I think that drives me more than the puzzle aspect. So like Portal, for example, it's primarily a puzzle game, but there's a deep story and lore, and you have to escape the villain, who's GLaDOS. You know what's going on? Why are you laughing?
Oh, because I'm just so not like you know me, sometimes I'm like have a hard time following stories in games. I just like don't pay attention. So I'm like, yeah, Portal has like a good story and stuff, I guess. But yeah, also I'm just not, that's not what brings me in. We're total opposites when it comes to that. But it's good because then we both can find something that we enjoy about the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll take Portal for example. If it was just a game about, okay, here's puzzle number 1, solve it. Here's puzzle number 2. Here's puzzle number 37. You did it. Right? Like, I feel like that wouldn't appeal to me as much. Whereas the Portal that we did get, where it's puzzle number 1, puzzle number 3, number 10. Oh, wait, there's something up about these puzzles, and you're trapped in here, and they're gonna kill you, so you have to find a way out, and even the escape part is in itself a puzzle.
Yeah.
So it's like I like more that narrative. That's what kept me going with Portal, and not just like, oh, let me just challenge myself to beat this puzzle.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've always been that way, even with this game too, which we'll talk more about it. But so yeah, Portal was definitely one of those.
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say there are a lot of games that aren't puzzle games that have puzzles within them.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Right. I mean, yeah, you could say any game is a puzzle game, right? You could say, I don't know, you could say Hollow Knight is somewhat of a puzzle game, trying to figure out which doors to unlock a new area, or how to unlock them.
Yeah.
Something like Animal Well is definitely a puzzle game.
Yeah. So I guess it's not like that crazy that this game would catch on with people. If you have all these mainstream games that do have big puzzle portions of them, Indiana Jones did, Uncharted does, Tomb Raider, like.
But those games have more gameplay, right?
Yes, but there still is like certain puzzle things that like people do seem to enjoy that part of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hogwarts game had some, the God of War,
Yeah, I
So
mean,
gamers do like their puzzles.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I enjoy some good puzzles in games to a certain extent, but when it's all about the puzzles, I feel like
Yeah.
that's when I kind of zone out. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, give me something more. Give me something with the narrative. Give me a sense
Yeah.
of progression, not just a number. Oh, you solved number 35.
Yes.
So yeah, Portal. There's also a World of Goo, which was a PC game that was back in 2008. And it's just like these little goo things. And you have to like build a bridge to get to the
I know
other
what you're talking
side.
about. Yeah.
And that just was one of the first games I played when I'm like, wow, this is like really good physics and math, and because everything just works so well, and it's just really fun to build these structures and try to get across. And it's really funny too. It's like hilarious. It's all the little creatures and the goo things. So yeah, I remember that one fondly too. But yeah, and recently I played Animal Well, which is also a puzzle game. It's like a Metroidvania, but with puzzle elements. I finished it, but I didn't. Of course, I didn't complete every single thing. Just like we didn't complete every single thing with Blueprints.
Yeah.
I think at some point you just have to. That's the other thing with puzzles, is that at some point you just have to look stuff up, because there's no way you're gonna ever figure out everything, right?
It does make me feel better when I look it up and it's something like crazy and I'm like, I would have never gotten that. It makes me feel better about having looked it up.
Yeah.
Versus when you look it up and you were like, oh, I should have gotten that. I wish I had solved that on my own.
Yeah, that happened a few times with us. Well, with
Yeah.
me at least. Yeah, so that's my history with puzzle games.
Okay.
All right, you want to ask your question?
Yep. That you're going to have a hard time answering.
Mm-hmm.
Because for everyone who probably doesn't know, you have a really hard time remembering your childhood.
Yeah, some trauma there.
So what's the first game you remember playing?
So I definitely remember having a Nintendo. And I remember having cartridges. I remember Duck Hunt vividly, playing with the gun.
Yeah.
And what else? Yeah, I would say either Duck Hunt, Mario, like the very first, Super Mario. I don't remember playing like the Donkey Kong game, or what was the old game, Mario game, was where you go up and you try to get the gorilla, which is technically, I guess technically it was a Donkey Kong at the time.
Okay. Yeah, like the old one.
But yeah, I remember those vividly. I remember Super Mario Bros. 3 as well. I don't remember Zelda, like The Legend of Zelda, at all. So I don't know if I just didn't have it or I just never played it.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember having that gold cartridge.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say anything that's Nintendo for the old, NES.
Okay.
Um, those games particularly are probably the first ones I've ever played.
Yeah.
After that, I do remember, I feel like I do remember more SNES, like Super Nintendo, and then PlayStation,
Yeah.
and then Nintendo 64, GameCube. But yeah, I would say my answer is Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros.
Okay.
What about you?
Um, I don't remember whether we had just like the original Nintendo. I know we had a Super Nintendo, so that's more of what I remember. I played Duck Hunt, but I think I played that like at my friend's house like years later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Super Nintendo was more what my first memories are with games. I remember playing Zelda,
Yeah.
Super Mario World, Metroid. I liked. And then when I found out it was a girl, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." Aladdin. I remember playing a ton of Aladdin.
The
I think
hardest
there
game of
was
all
like,
time.
yeah, dude. I think there was like a Home Alone game I played. And then we had a Game Boy, like the original Game Boy, so we had like Tetris on that. I remember playing Tetris a lot. We had some like Looney Tune game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's Mario Kart. That was kind of more. I was definitely more of a Super Nintendo as like the first big thing. And then later on we got a GameCube. My brother got a PlayStation. We played a lot of 007 and Perfect Dark and stuff. Yeah, that's the
So,
basics.
so you never remember playing like Pokemon games?
No, I
Because
don't
I,
think I did. And I know that like we have that one for the Game Boy, right? Because you played it that I
yeah.
have. But that was like I don't know if that was. I mean, it clearly one of my brothers. I don't know which one, but yeah, I never. I don't think I ever played that one, and I don't know why. Because I played like others. I don't even remember having that though, like that. Because it's like yellow, right? The one that I have,
Mm-hmm. Pokemon Yellow.
and yeah, I don't even remember like seeing that as a kid. I feel like almost all the other games in there
Hmm.
kind of like ring a bell. There's like the boxing one or whatever that I don't think I really played that one either, but I remember it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if that was like something somebody got later on or if it was just something I never cared about. Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, I'm wondering if to get just like Pokemon. Well, you had cards, right? Or were those your brothers as well?
That's one that like my brothers like would have extra and then I would just get the extras or like from friends and stuff
Yeah.
because it wasn't something I really I don't know, I don't really care about it. I don't know, but I never got into Pokemon. I don't know why. I remember having Pogs even,
Mm-hmm.
not like can you tell we're millennials?
Pause.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny how certain things catch your attention as a kid and other things don't and maybe that's, why even as an adult I just don't care that much about Pokemon. I don't have that nostalgia for it.
Yeah, you really have to have grown up with it
Yeah.
to like really be into it. I mean, I'm not really that into it, but there's still kind of a special place in my heart for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Um, I don't care about any of the newer ones. But I really loved Gold and Silver, and so I'm more attached to like that first generation and second generation.
When was the show on?
When was it on? I mean, somewhere in the 90s.
Okay. But like So did you know about the games and stuff first? Did it coincide with
I I
the
th- I think
show?
I think I knew. I think I started getting into Pokemon because of the show, and then
Okay.
I got into Gold and Silver, which was
Okay.
already a later game.
So see, that's one of the things I never watched the show. I didn't even know a show existed until like I was older. I knew about the cards, but I don't think
Mhm.
I even knew there was a show. I definitely watched a lot of Disney and Nick. I didn't watch other channels so much. Maybe some like ABC on like the weekends or whatever, but
Well, that yellow version is because of the show. Like
yeah.
I think it exists because of the show. Like
Yeah. But
where
that
like
could have been something like my oldest brother watched or something. Cuz like I think he watched like a little Dragon Ball Z and things like that and I just never did.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I was more of a Disney Nickelodeon kid.
Cool. Shout out to Pokemon and 007. Um, what?
Uh, I wasn't very good at that game, but man, was it fun.
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
like play it. My like oldest brother would have one of his friends like stay the night or something, and like he wouldn't even want to play it, but we'd stay up with his friend playing it like for all hours. And I think he got annoyed because we were taking his friend away from him.
Yeah, that game and Smash Brothers Melee, like the original one.
See, I never played Smash Brothers.
Those two were the games that we would be up all night playing, and that we would invite all our friends.
Yeah,
Cool. All right, you ready to get into this game?
the topic of the day.
We've already wasted 30 hours or 30 minutes. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
All right, blueprints. So I was going to check what day we ended on. Do you remember what day we ended on?
It was like in the 70s, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think it was getting
Well, I
close
don't
to.
know because you kept going.
I mean, I only played like 1, 2 days more.
Okay. The last day I remember like paying attention to what day it was like 71. So we could have been into the 80s even, but probably like high 70s.
Yeah, my Xbox account shows that we played it for 3 days and 3.3 days. So
Okay.
how many hours is that?
And I don't know, like 40.
Oh, and the 24 times 3.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Why was I thinking?
So what? Close to 70-ish hours, 70, 80.
Ugh,
So that's a
yeah,
lot
that
of
makes more sense.
that's a lot of time devoted to this game. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it says 25 hours this week on your thing.
Jesus. Okay. All right, Mia.
But
What do you think of this game? Tell me your high level thoughts.
first off, can I say that I feel like whenever I say the name of it, I am saying not blue prince like a person, like a princess. I say it as in like the charts,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, yeah,
blueprints.
yeah. I mean, that's. I think that's the idea. I
I
think that
mean,
that's
it's,
what.
yeah, but it's definitely called prince as in like princess, prince, royalty.
Right. Right.
Yes.
But I
But
think
I,
like I don't know if that was the intent for people to just when they say it out loud that to sound like blueprints. You know.
yeah. Yeah, I've heard some other people like talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like they say it differently from me. Like the emphasis is somewhere else or something. I don't know. I'm just bad with words anyway. Okay.
Which is fitting though, right? Because this game is
Yeah.
all about wordplay, and
Yes,
like
exactly. No, this game is so clever. I can't even imagine developing this game. Like it amazes me, and I don't even know how you would like organize all of this and code it, and like I just genius people. Like
just
um
just to even test it out. Imagine how many test runs just to find all
yeah.
the bugs and making sure that all the puzzles are in place and working.
So we probably got credits when it was like day 34 or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I think we were like in the early 30s when we rolled credits. Probably like 30 hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
Um I think I liked it the most then. And even then, like, I don't know, I think like we started it and I was like really into it, and like we were solving things and there were more puzzles coming, and it was just very like you're getting all this new stuff thrown at you and you're solving all these things, and then things get a little more challenging and you're still solving things and piecing things together, and there's a lot of like big things that you have to do multiple times to be able to like solve them, right? Like all the different letters that you have to collect or the chess pieces or something.
Yeah.
So that was all fun and took a lot of notes. We were reading all of the letters, like marking dates, paying attention to certain things, and there were a couple things that we. I mean, I guess we can. This is going to be a spoiler podcast, so
Yeah.
cool. I don't have to worry about that.
Spoilers.
Like the secret garden key.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already like pretty early on were like, I think we need to open it from this or something, and then I just anytime like a door would come up that like we could have used it for, I would just forget and unlock it with a regular key. And it was like, dang it,
Well,
now we're out of keys.
well, we didn't know about the secret garden key until late. Like we
I
kept
feel
getting
like
it for days and days, and we were like, "How are we supposed to get to this room?" And then we're like, "Oh, we finally, we just need to
yes,
try it at a
we need
corner or at one of the sides."
yes something, but like I feel like you figured it out. Like I think we just didn't pay attention, and we're like, oh, the secret garden maybe it's like more hidden in this other thing or something. Like the basement,
Mm-hmm.
had a separate key, so we thought it might be more like that. But then you figured it out, I feel like, early on enough, but we still didn't do it for a while
Yeah.
because, like I said, I would just forget to use it. And then I was like, dang it, that was my opportunity. Oh, well, guess we'll do it tomorrow. And then it just never came up at the right time. But, so when we did that, then we got to the 46th room pretty quick after that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's like other ways to get to the 46th room, but that was like fairly easy in terms of way to do it versus like the other ways that we did it. So I think we could have done this even sooner, is what I'm saying, if we just had paid more attention, I guess.
Yeah.
I think I liked it the most then, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like we hit the credits, and like I was fine stopping at that point. I knew that there were still things that we didn't solve. I was like, oh, yeah, I feel like we like did a lot, I was still like a little curious over a couple things that we didn't solve, and then like I was listening to other people talk about it, and then I saw the thing a couple times where people were like, "Oh no, no, no! Once you hit credits, that was basically you finishing the tutorial."
I feel like that's misleading.
Yes. And so, like, part of me was like, okay, maybe we'll give it a few more days. Let's see, like, these last couple puzzles that we didn't solve. And then, of course, you solve those, and then there's more things. And then there's more things. And it just keeps leading. And then I think we kept going, and I feel like our, like, passion for it just like died and died every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And then it's frustrating because you're like, okay, I know I need this and I need this, but I also need to solve this thing. So today I'm going to try and do the A, but if I can't do A, then I'll fall back on doing B. And then like things would happen where you couldn't do either.
Mm-hmm.
Or you would get part of the thing to solve A, but the room would never come up. And then you're like, okay, let me B. And then it was too late. And it was just, it became a lot of like you spending a whole day trying to do these different things and then it not working out. And you're like, well, there went an hour.
Yeah.
Because like each day like could be an hour long. And it's just the days where you basically got nothing done, it just started to feel like a waste. But can I say, I will probably say a lot of negative stuff,
Mm-hmm.
even though I feel highly positive about this game.
Yeah. I think, if I may step in here,
Yes.
I think most people should play this game and stop once they hit credits.
Yes. And I think we would have ended on a really
Yeah.
good note and would have been like really positive about the game. But the more we went on, I feel like the more I just.
Yeah, I you know, I mean, I guess if you're listening to this podcast and you're playing the game, or if you listen to any podcast and they're giving you their thoughts on this game, they will probably say the same thing, and you have an advantage of like, oh, okay, this podcast told me to just stop while I'm ahead. But like, if you don't listen to anything, or if you don't listen to the reviews and you just pick up this game, you're gonna want to keep going. Like, there's so many once we hit the 46th room, like there's so many other puzzles that we have left unsolved.
I don't know. I was kind of okay being done until I heard other people say, no, you just finished the tutorial. Because then it also felt like a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, oh, did I take the easy way out? Did I just do the easy puzzles and, like, didn't do anything hard?
Yeah.
But also, I will say, the like, credits roll, you've gotten, like, a little bit of story, right? Like, they give you, like, a cut scene and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I also was left thinking, if we keep going, we'll get more story. And, like, you do, but not to the same extent. Like, I'm expecting, like, to hear more about all this stuff, to get maybe a few more cutscenes or something. Not, like, intense cutscenes, but, like, little things. And, like, I don't know, like, I was gonna solve more to this, like, family mystery. And it's just a lot more letters with dates and things, and I don't know, I guess I just felt like even whenever we did solve a puzzle after that point, I didn't feel like we got anything out of it except for a more difficult puzzle. And I think that's kind of like you want some type of reward, you want some type of like payoff for doing that. And I just feel like I didn't get that the more we went on.
Yeah, this game is definitely a 10 out of 10 if you stop once you get to 46.
Yeah.
If you keep going, the puzzles will drag on. The story is not going to be as rewarding. You're going to be solving puzzles only to unlock more puzzles, and once you solve those puzzles, you just get an achievement or something. So for the completionist person, this is definitely a paradise for them, but like
but also, I mean, we didn't 100% the game,
No.
so like
Right.
who knows, maybe there is some like really cool story or other stuff that we are missing.
I don't think there is. I did see that. I think that there is like this final blueprint room that you get into.
Yeah.
and everything's like blue, and it's like the first draft of this house back in the 1900s. If you know, if you care about the lore. Um, and then I think there's like a letter, or the deed is, because you find the deed in the 46 room, but there's an original deed of like your great great grandmother or something, and that has a
I was
little more
just more
story.
I was just more curious with, I don't know her name, sorry. But the one like we went into
Mary,
that one, yeah, was it Mary?
yeah, your
That had like
mother.
the multiple passports and
Mm-hmm.
like her whole where did Mary go? And then like you find out that she's like working with these people to do this thing and it's just like you find this like underground
How cool would it have been?
room.
How cool would it have been if she showed up once you solved a really difficult puzzle, right?
Yeah, I mean you
Like,
don't interact with any people though, so I feel like that would kind of be like jarring. But I guess if they showed like a cutscene or
yeah,
something of
like a
it.
cutscene or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So 10 out of 10. If you reach the 46 room, stop there. Yeah, I would say the rest of it is just there if you wanna keep going, but like you don't have to. Um, I did. So what? Well, let me just say, it's my biggest disappointment is the Sanctum keys. I finally did all of them, and it was fucking hard. And like, you just get an achievement or a trophy or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I was expecting like this big thing to be revealed, more of the lore, and it's just that didn't
Yeah.
happen.
And that's what's funny is like I don't think us wanting more lore is like bad. I think that's like a good thing that like okay, we were interested enough that like we wanted the payoff to be more lore, more story, and then like you don't even get that. Or you
Yeah.
just get a few more letters. But the letters just like I don't know, aren't enough for me.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, that's what kept me going is the lore. Like once we found out that this is not our world and it's like some other planet or like a fantasy world, it was just fun to like figure out what are all the continents and what are all these factions. Sometimes you learn a little history about it, but you also learn about your just your mom that disappeared, and you don't know if she was kidnapped or if she willingly joined the other side. There's a very big thing with blue and red, which is of course a political thing, even in this world. Um,
Yeah. And that's what I really wanted to learn more of and like if there was, what cause she was fighting
mhm.
for or like
Yeah, but we never got that. But
yeah.
like we never got like a letter saying, you know what, like I don't like how my father is doing this or my uncle. It's the niece, right? Of I can't remember. Yeah, yeah, because this is your uncle, right? The Herbert Sinclair.
Yes.
Um, like I wish we would have gotten a letter revealing, like, hey, I didn't like how my kingdom was going, so I wanted to join the other side. Um, and then
I
yeah,
thought maybe she was like part of a like terrorist group or something or like I don't know, dude. I was expecting some like crazy stuff.
yeah,
Just in like story, not even like I wasn't expecting some crazy like visuals of or anything, but just like hearing about things going down and
yeah,
fights between factions and
because you do get those letters or those like ransom cutouts. What are they do it called? Where you
yeah,
cut letters from different.
like magazines and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, like
like it,
ransom notes. Yeah,
and it seems like, oh, some crazy's like happening or happened,
yeah,
but like it turns out, if I'm piecing the story correctly, all those red letters were blackmail because somebody found out more information about this mansion or this, house, and how to solve things, and that's why the ransom was there. Like, hey, I want money, or else I'm gonna reveal to the world everything I've learned about this house. I think that's what the red letters are. It's just some guy wanting ransom money, or just money or something, which has nothing to do with the Mary character.
Yeah, I don't know. I think at a certain point I just stopped paying as much attention because I wasn't getting like, the answers to questions I had, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, overall, this game is getting great reviews.
I think, yeah, most people
90s.
probably have the credits roll and then stop because that's like, you're like, oh, I completed it. And I think there was a good chance that we would have had, we not heard how much more there was if we kept going.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, like, you don't want to feel like you're wasting your time on something. And I feel like this game did that. Made us feel that way.
And I think it's just there's certain things where it's like to pass the final exam or something. I'm like, I'm literally going to have to piece together all this information and like study.
Yeah, and what are you going to give me? A trophy?
I don't like school to begin with. I don't miss school. I don't miss reading a history book and having to take a test on it. So like it was like, really, I'm gonna sit here and like take notes on this, and like, or am I gonna do the thing where like, am I gonna just look up the answers online? Am I gonna just take a bunch of screenshots and reference those? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And the good thing about this game is you can just play it till the credits and enjoy that if you're kind of more of that style person. Or if you are one of those people that are just at a whole nother level, you can keep doing and complete all the puzzles. So it is cool that it is there for those people too.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I'm saying. There's those people that do these Sudoku puzzles and it takes them an hour. And it's like one that I could never even solve on my own if I tried. But those are there for those people. And they're on a whole nother level. Good for them. So, it's cool that this can be for different styles of people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am more of the I don't know. I like a little bit of a challenge, but I'm not at that same level.
Yeah.
I'm willing to admit my
most
intelligence level.
Most people aren't at that level. Right? Like 99% of the people that play this game won't be at that level.
Yeah.
So it's like, who's...
Yeah, so I was a little surprised at like how difficult some of it is. Even when you read how to do some of the things, it was like I'm sitting there reading it and I'm like, that is so much.
Mm-hmm. How did anyone
I'm reading
figure
an
this out?
easy how-to step-by-step and I still don't want to do it. But yeah, to each their own.
Overall, though, I am impressed by the game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And like, I don't know what it would need for it to be like a 10 out of 10 overall. Like, I don't know if the creator had this really solid puzzle to get to the 46th room, and then eventually he just started developing more and adding more stuff and didn't really know how to steer the player to uncover these things in a more I don't know, engaging way. as opposed to just like, oh, now once you reach the 46th room, the other thing is supplemental, or the rest of it is supplemental, and there's gonna be like some hidden lore, but it's gonna be super hard to get. Like I don't know. I wish there was something more that would keep the player going
Engaged.
and hitting those dopamine,
Yeah.
spurts. But once you hit to the 46th room, it's like it's kind of it kind of dies off a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, the credits do roll.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like that's the game. And so I understand why people would give, that game 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else is just like bonus content, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's fine the way it is. It's just, yeah, for me, it was a lot better then, and I wish I had stopped there. I think now it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, having gone on for an additional 30, 40 hours and then feeling like I just didn't get anything else from it.
Yeah.
It's almost like that beginning part was too easy and then everything else is too hard. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but we're also just one data set. I wonder if if other people just had trouble getting to the 46th room or got to it at a later date, or maybe some got to it really quickly. It does feel like one of those games where like everybody has a different experience just with this 46th room.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Okay, so we did like the game, the first part of it. What was your favorite room?
I mean, I don't know.
What was the room that you never skipped on? I feel like I know mine.
Really?
Like once I saw it, I'm like, I always have to go for it.
Okay, what's yours? The dartboard?
No.
I feel like that's the one you always did.
The courtyard.
Okay.
Courtyard was.
See,
it was always
I was gonna
useful.
say probably a green room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the green rooms were pretty. I mean, the tomb was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was like one of the things that was like fun. Like we got in the chapel and right away I went in the chapel and I was like, ooh, all these like pictures of these people matter and they all have like a number with them. So that was like the first thing like I wrote down was like all the glass colored glass pictures of like the person with the chimney sweep and the chef and everything, like. And then when we went into the tomb, it's like, oh, we do all these. And then, like...
Yeah, you figured that on your own.
Lighting the candles and stuff was, like, fun. And I think creating different items was really cool, combining them.
Yeah, the whole tomb area was awesome. Even when discovering, like, the sanctum. And that giant gear thing, like that was like, man, where are we? So like it did a really good job of just like once you discovered these big rooms or big areas, you're like, oh, there's so much more, And that was
really
cool.
It was really cool to see the big areas and like finding all the things to turn on the gas. Digging was always fun. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The boxes I had a. You were much better at the dartboard. I was better at the boxes with the jewels inside.
Yeah.
Until they got to double negatives, and then my brain just gets confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would walk in and immediately like solve it.
Yeah. At some point, though, like we just skipped it, right? We're like, I don't want to do this because
Yeah.
because they do increase in difficulty. Same with the
Yeah.
dartboard. The dartboard increases in difficulty.
But yeah, also like by the time it just gets to that difficulty, you've already solved it so many times that you're just like over it already. And then the fact that it's like now harder too, you're just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Just give me these jewels. Like, I liked the attic because there was always like a ton in there, and then there was like the hidden little spot you could like maneuver over, and then you see the security camera thing. You know what? That's the one thing we never did that I wanted to do, was delete the archive room.
Yeah, I wonder if that even does anything. We should probably look it up at some point.
Yeah. But like the laboratory, like I figured out that periodic table thing like immediately, like the first time we went in there. But then like for the longest time we couldn't get it set up correctly where we could turn on the power. You know, we needed the like boiler room power to get that going, and it just wouldn't work out right.
Yeah. I mean, just figuring out the pump room, dude, was so cool to like drain the reservoir like halfway, and then it leads all to this new area. That was so cool. Though it took us a while to do that because you do have to like get things right, and like that would take multiple runs because you have to get the boat to the other side, and then you have to drain it a certain way.
Yeah. But that was like one of those puzzles where we both had like as soon as I saw the like that area, I was like, oh, we needed to like drain water because we need to go in that hole, and then we also like need to drain it all the way because there's stuff at the bottom too. And it's like, so I kind of like knew about that, but you were the one that was like good at actually going into the pump room, moving things over, because again, that was like one of the puzzles that my brain just
you did not
had a hard time.
You didn't even want to learn that one. You're like, nah, I'm good.
My brain could just not get over the fact that there's like a huge empty tank that we just can't put stuff into, and that like there was like one pump that like you needed the boiler room to turn it on to be able to, and I was just like, I don't understand, why can't we just move it from this tank into this tank? And you're like, well, you have to first move it from here into there and there into there, and I just don't know, why can't these ones just go back and forth? Like, it should work like that, and it didn't. And I was just like, then I don't, because my brain just kept wanting to do it that way, and you're like, no, you have to do it this way, and I just like, I can't let go of that first idea. I'm sorry.
I mean, I really thought you would like that puzzle. It's the infamous water jug puzzle from Die Hard. How do you get 2 gallons into the 3-gallon jug?
Yes, but it wasn't that. It was like there was like another level of complication to it, and I think sometimes it's also like sometimes the first person to do the thing ends up being the person that just consistently does it. So it was like the puzzle box. I was like the one that did the puzzle box the first couple times. So then it just became the thing that I always just kind of did, and I learned first. And then like the dartboard was the thing that you did. And I think when one person learns it, the other person just knows they can fall back on the other person. So it's just like, you just do it. I don't feel like learning it when you already know sufficient. Like,
yeah. We did look up some stuff because we were just kind of over it, right?
I had been over it for quite a while.
Like, we looked up some of the codes to the safes. We all knew that it had to do something with that message across the entire grid.
And there were certain things that we tried and we were right on the brink of solving. We just like couldn't completely figure it out. Like, we know it has to do with this. We know it's this. Like the one with the calendar and the like apples and stuff.
Yeah.
Where I'm like counting all the apples, counting all the things, and it's like, oh, the small gates.
Yeah.
Didn't count those. Like, I did the date, which was like 1107, but it ended up being 1108 because there were 8 gates.
You know
or
what?
like,
And remember the Christmas one?
oh, which we did solve on our own. I don't know why. I knew. Like, I thought the first thing I tried was Christmas. And apparently I didn't. I think my brain was just doing 1125 for some reason. I was thinking of like Thanksgiving for some reason, even though I know Thanksgiving falls on a different day all the time. But it's always in November. But I don't know. For some reason, I just thought that I had tried Christmas and I hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting so frustrated because every time I'm like, it has to do with Christmas. I was like, is it the ornaments on the tree? It's not Christmas Day, so what is it? Like, and then it was just Christmas Day. And also, like, so all the codes did end up just being 4 digits. But it doesn't necessarily say that it's just a 4-digit number. So I was like, well, maybe it's like a 6-digit code, you know?
No, the gates one wasn't 4 digits, right? The small gates, the horses, or the whatever that room was with the paintings.
Yeah, wasn't it?
I thought it was only 3.
Oh, was it? Yeah,
thought-
like 514 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, see, so that's what threw me off. Because I think I was like, maybe they're 4, and then that one ended up not being it or something. So, like, my whole brain the whole time, I'm like, they could be 3 digits, they could be 5 digits, they could be 6 digits. Because, like, dates, it was, like, about dates, so I'm thinking, like, month, day, year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it would have been better if we had at least known how many digits it was.
Yeah.
At least, like, give us something to work with. You know? Do, like, a beep, 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 boop. You know?
Yeah. One puzzle I'm really mad about that I looked up and was right under my nose was the last chip. The microchip was literally in the first room,
In the vases.
and I had to break the vase.
What about the brick wall in, was it the gym?
Oh, the
or
gym.
the weight room or something?
Yeah.
You were like, how?
Yeah.
Because you were like on it with those like walls. You were like paying attention to walls once you found you could like hammer through something. And we kept that like hammer, that like specialized hammer in the coat check for like so long. And can I just say, I had some runs where like I'd have a goal and I would finally get it at the end, but like I had to go through so much to make certain things happen. And I gave Louis such a hard time about this because I was like, dude, I just spent so much time. I just had to go back here and there and trade this for this and dig up this and buy this and trade it. Like, it was so hard a couple times to do things, but in the end, like, I would get it done. And then the next day, Luis would go to do it, and like all these things would just fall into place. He'd be like, oh, hey, look, I found this thing. Now I just need the workshop. Next thing he would draw would be the workshop. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what the heck? It's just falling into your lap.
I mean, that didn't happen all the time. I had some really hard runs too.
Yeah, but there were a couple times specifically where like it happened for you really smoothly.
Also, we should mention that we played, the way we played it was each of us did a full run controlling it.
Yeah, we would take turns.
We would take turns. And you know, we would help each other, but somebody was always just controlling the drafting or the the guy and or the character.
Yeah, and you kind of had ultimate say on that day of like what rooms to do or whatever.
Mm.
And like we'd give each other input, but yeah, I would do a day and then you'd do a day. And what was your least favorite room?
My least favorite room. Well, I can tell you the ones I always avoided. Always avoided the stupid gym, just because I didn't want to lose half my steps.
Yep.
Always avoided. I would say I always avoided the archives too,
Yeah.
just because I didn't want to start.
Yeah. The archives was tough.
Yeah. What about you?
Definitely the gym. What else? The dark room would get kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
The bedrooms we skipped a lot. If they were like dead ends, especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like we.
Go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say the dark room. It was cool to figure out how to turn on the lights,
Yeah.
but like you didn't want to do that every time. Like you have to draw the breaker room.
Yeah.
You have to go back and turn them on, and like that just became tedious. So that's why it was easier to just skip the room entirely.
Yeah. The den with all the clocks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if there's still some type of puzzle with those clocks in particular.
I don't know.
Or something. Or was it all just a red herring? Because, I mean, the clock tower is like a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But that every time we went in there, we're like, is there something with the clocks that we're missing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we stayed because there's the little marks on the clocks, and we stayed when the hands were representing those marks, and like nothing happened.
Yeah. I know a room that you should hate.
The
Lost and Found.
Oh yeah. I mean that only happened to me once.
It happened a couple times.
But like not that bad. Where that last
not that bad. Yeah, but that first the first time you got it, you like walked through it, and then on your way back, like walked through it again, and you're like, no, why did I do that?
All right, and then I lost the upgrade disc.
Yes.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. You lost the upgrade disc that time. And then the other time we went through all of this thing to get the specialized hammer back. And then you like went to go use it. And you're like, why isn't it working? And I was like, is it in your inventory? And you're like, no. And I was like, did you go through the lost and found? And you're like, no.
Yeah.
That was like, you looked so upset, and I was just laughing because I was just like, dude, you knew not to do that. Like, you did this to yourself. Yeah.
I never.
But it was cool because you'd get rare items.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to draft it. Like if you had that blessing where you end up in a room. The next day, yeah, it's in the grounds. Like it was good to draft that room in the grounds, just because you don't have anything on you. But
you cursed. Go ahead.
Oh, you were gonna say a curse?
Oh yeah, you cursed us once by taking back the blessing. And then I cursed us by breaking the chest open.
That's right.
The curses were not fun.
No.
They would like ruin the whole day in like multiple days.
Yeah, that curse was there for like 2 days, but apparently it's a curse that you can just start off with. It's a mode, right? If you want an extra challenge, and I don't know why anybody would want that. I'm
telling you, some people are just on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I still. So I never did break that wall in the weight room.
Yeah.
I know what's in it though. It's
Mm.
another lever. That's the other lever that you pull that opens the southern door to the antechamber. Because
Mm.
each doorway has two ways to open it.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know what else you want to talk about.
I feel like I
There's,
had something I was going to ask you about, but I don't remember.
we did the okay, so we did get to grade 8 on the classroom. That was one
Hmm.
of those things that you had to do like a classroom run and only devote your entire run to that. Right.
Yeah.
It was fun going through all the classrooms and learning more about the history and even the language too was interesting. And then yeah, at the end you take an exam, and of course we didn't know half of these questions.
But also, we were just like skipping through to like see what the questions were,
Mm-hmm.
and you were accidentally like hitting answers.
Yeah.
So, like, a ton of them were just marked A. And we're like, well, now we're definitely going to fail because we didn't even get to answer those on our
Yeah.
own anyway. We just accidentally hit A.
But I'm still wondering what that actually gives you. I didn't actually
Oh,
look it up.
I wanted to talk about the gallery.
All right, the gal. That's fucking. That's another
Okay,
puzzle that you need to have IQ 400 IQ or something.
we did 3 out of the 4
Yeah. All
on our
right.
own. So I'm pretty proud of that. And like a couple of them were pretty like easy. That last one though, the ruminate. We would have never gotten that on our own.
Mm-mm.
I get it. I can see it now, but like, look, I'm not even not familiar with that word. It's not part of my vocabulary. Um, and I just, yeah.
Yeah.
And we knew it had to do with the like 8. And I was trying to figure out words that like ended with that too at a certain point, and I just like couldn't piece anything together that made sense.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
But
we did a good job. We figured everything else out in that room. Even the when you do get
yeah,
the room 8 key, we figured that whole thing out.
yeah, yeah. No, we did pretty well. I think we had some pretty good, ways to solve certain puzzles, and I think we worked really well on this game together, and I think we usually do. We do escape rooms, and I feel like we do pretty decent on those.
Well, yeah, we just did an escape room recently, and I would say we solved it, right?
Yeah, we were a little bit over time. They gave us a couple extra minutes, but we also had like half the amount of people you were supposed to have.
Yeah.
But I also think we do better when we have fewer people. And like,
I mean, I feel like it's more fun when you have fewer people.
because I want more of a challenge. Exactly. We've done it with more people, and then we've solved it so quick, and like everybody just kind of solved like one little thing, and then it's like, oh, we're done, we're out. We had too many people, and that just didn't feel exciting. Like, I would rather just lose than like easily finish it. Especially like escape rooms are expensive.
I know.
So like, I want my money's worth, and I kind of want to be there almost till the end solving
Mm-hmm.
things. Of course you don't want to be like completely stuck where you have to like ask for help or almost answers, but I don't we've asked for clues. I'm the stubborn one. I'm like, no, I don't want to ask for clues, and then other people do. Sometimes it's good that you do because otherwise you are just going to sit there stuck on one thing, and that's not fun. But yeah, we have a fun time. I feel like we work well together on that type of stuff. We played up, and you and I have gone to day, what, 15
Hmm.
on played up like multiple times with just us. But then when we've tried it with like a couple other friends, I don't think we've ever gotten that far with like 4 people.
Yeah, it's harder. I feel like it's harder with more people.
Yeah. But it's just like, I don't know, you and I, we kind of like get a flow. And so it's fun. And so, like, yeah, I liked playing this game. I liked playing it with you. I don't, I don't know, like, that I would have had as much fun playing it by myself. And I'm a little, like, interested if, like, I would have completed the whole thing by myself. Like, maybe. But yeah, I don't think it would have been as fun. I think it's a game I would have started playing, and then I would have been like, look at this. Help me with this. So I probably would have dragged you into it anyway.
What stuff did we look up? Okay, so we
We looked
looked
up some of the safes.
some of the saves, that last word in the gallery,
Hmm.
the last microchip. We looked up like what, like 3 out of the 8 sanctum keys.
I don't think we were trying to look up the last microchip. I think it just happened. Right?
Yeah, because we were studying the clue book, right? The red clue or the what was that book?
A new clue.
A new clue, and that's we were trying to figure out those puzzles.
No, but there was like something. I think we looked up something which led us to figure that out or something. I don't know. Like we weren't exactly looking for micro.
No, well, we were looking for the sanctum key, and that's how you get it.
Yes. Oh,
That's
okay.
right. Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that okay?
Because you need the throne room. The only way to get the throne room is to open that server room.
Hmm.
Um, there was one of those like color puzzles that you click to get the allowance token. I looked one of those up because I could not figure it out. But
And
for
then you
the
just skipped like 4 of them, though.
yeah, I just didn't want to do them because they were all allowance tokens. So like we had like
We
what
didn't need
30.
them. Yeah. Yeah. You were just like, I'm fine.
I'm done. I don't want to try to figure
And
this
that's
out.
yeah. And it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I probably could figure this out, but when I'm just kind of burnt out on this, and that's how I became with those like
Hmm.
boxes.
Well, even the
I was just like,
sanctum sigils, like we just yeah, I'm done with this. Just give me the answer.
yeah. I just, I don't know. I think at a certain point it just became like a lot of like work,
Hmm.
and like I was just like, I don't want to have to do like a ton of research to find out the answer to this thing. Like that's not the type of game I want to play. I want to play puzzles that like like maybe you can take some notes on or something, or like, but I don't want to have to study to do this. And I think that's where the game became a little too much for me.
One of the upgrades for the aquarium
Mm-hmm.
is to add goldfish, and that gives you money, or to add a starfish, and that gives you
Start.
a stars. Yeah, yeah. And then the other one is to add an electric eel, and that one gives you power. So like, it's another boiler room.
Interesting.
So that was kind of cool. But we had already
Yeah.
solved all that, so like we didn't need extra power anyway.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah, there
thing
are
with
certain.
same thing with the mail. Yeah, the mail room.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There are certain things I feel like we solved, like I don't know, out of order or something. That's like one of a bunch of stuff, and then we were getting all letters, and it's like, oh, I already solved that. that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, overall, very good game, very well done game. I'm still amazed that someone came up with all this and was able to put this all together. I still, yeah. And that's something I talked about early on was the first couple days you end up at a dead end pretty quick.
Mhm.
And then as like days go on, it feels like yes, you're getting better and you're figuring things out, but it also feels like the game is giving you access to certain things now as time progresses.
Mhm.
And I'm just like amazed at how all of that can be coded into it and how a team can figure out how to do all that in a like really efficient way. And I
Yeah.
just it's hard enough to solve all of these and then to be the one that like is creating it and making it all flow together. And like I just big round of applause for them. And
Yeah. Yeah.
they're
I
on a
mean,
whole nother level.
it is a solo developer, but I think he eventually started branching out and hiring people to do certain things.
Yeah, I just like how does one do this?
I
And good
mean,
for
just
him.
just even testing it out, like there had to be so many tests because there's so many variations of stuff, and like they all have to work and not break the game. Like even just drafting a room, each room has two paintings, and they all have to correspond to that tile. And there's multiple paintings that could represent that same letter. So like you'd have to there would just be so many variations of just drafting one room in one specific tile. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this game is even possible, to be honest.
Yeah.
That said,
Tonda Ross.
yeah, Tonda Ross.
Tonda Ross, you are on another level.
Yeah,
He is the levels guy.
the levels. No, that's Maximilian, dude.
Maximilian, the levels guy. Yeah, I mean, kudos to anyone that can just 100% it. I really enjoyed up into the credit.
Mm.
I will say, like, a little before even the credits, I think I'm starting to wind down on it. And maybe it is just we are those types of gamers where we really get wrapped up into things and we'll play it, every day.
Yeah.
So maybe if, we hadn't done that, I wouldn't have burnt out as quickly on it as well. But I think this is also that type of game. I think this is the kind of game that you pick up and you get really into and you just want to just keep going. It's like you don't want to, if one day is an hour,
Mm-hmm.
Some games you can pick up and be like, I'm just going to play this for a couple hours, but to play this and just do 2 days feels like nothing, So it's hard to just play for a couple hours.
We're also in a weird position when we're both playing it.
Yeah.
And we both have to be available and be ready or into it at the same time. Whereas, like, maybe if I were playing it alone, like, I would just do it here in bits and pieces. Like do a run and like just quit and play another game.
Yeah, I think I'd be the opposite. I think I'd like obsess over it and just play it. I'm kind of a routine based person. I just kind of get in a habit of something and I'll obsess over it until it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be like, but what now? And that's how if there's ever like a book series I get really into or something, I usually, the couple times I've been really into it, I've will wake up and want to read, and then it's like, oh, gotta go to work, okay, and then like want to come home and immediately start reading or something.
Yeah.
I don't always have the opportunity to do that kind of stuff nowadays, but same as like shows. Like I'm the type that can sit there and watch, a whole season in a couple days, whereas you're more like, let me watch one episode today, and I'll just keep going.
Yeah, but you're also doing other stuff when you watch stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I always have to like be in it, you know?
Yeah.
So even we just watched Star Wars, and like we rewatched all of Star Wars, and I feel like I was like, if we're gonna watch a movie, like that's all we're gonna do, you know? We won't just put it, like I don't usually just put it in the background as like noise. But anyway, that's another issue or topic.
You're better at focusing than me. I will give you that.
So yeah, this has been Blueprints, our discussion on this video game.
This has been us rambling on about Blueprints.
Yeah.
A game that we said probably a lot of bad things about, but ultimately really liked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes, the negative aspects are like more entertaining to talk about, or you just want to like, get it out of your system. So I feel like sometimes that's kind of hard. It's like, I'm not here to like hate on this thing. I actually really liked it. I highly encourage people to play it, but maybe stop at the credits.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering if we would have had like a different experience if we were both playing it separately, our own games. And it would have been fun to like talk about
Compare.
it in that way. Compare how you got to certain places. And
yeah,
because even the foundation, I heard, is like when you get the foundation, it's different for everybody. Like some
really?
people got it in like tile 2 or like row 2.
Oh, it's like in a different spot?
Yeah. Some people even got it like close to the antechamber, so that was really convenient for them.
I think ours was smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, it was in the middle.
I think that was good. I think we lucked out. That's so interesting. I thought, yeah, especially since it was so in the middle, I thought that's just where it always was. Interesting.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, and because I think as soon as you draft it, that's where it lands.
I don't even remember drafting it. I think you did. That was cool. I think there's just a lot of bits and pieces, though, that we solved together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm definitely more of a note taker. So I think there's just certain things that I would have had a harder time trying to do on my own, and, vice versa.
Yeah, we definitely took a lot of notes on an actual notepad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it tells you right at the start.
Yeah.
So.
But I wonder how many people actually did that, though.
I feel like you would have to. And I feel like most people, if they went on for any decent amount of days, they did. But I would be interested to see everybody's note.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun.
I want to say most people just took screenshots. Like, oh, that's significant, screenshot.
Yeah. I mean, you started doing that.
Yeah, we started doing that too.
It's just because it became just so much.
But I wonder, there's certain stuff though, like the grid with the hidden message. How else would you do that if not draw a grid and then start plugging in the letters?
Yeah. I don't know, some
like,
Excel sheet.
Yeah. That's the only other thing I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that was fun. That was fun to like piece together. This game had a lot going for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. I obviously we liked it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have put that many hours into it.
Cool. All right, that wraps it up. I know I've tried to wrap it up like 10 times already.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good.
Next time you'll be here on your own.
I still don't know how to actually end this, so I guess we just end it. Do you have anything else to say about anything, not just blueprints?
I like my dog.
I like my dog too, and she's getting restless.
Yep, I can hear her.
Yeah, so all right. See ya, everybody.
Bye.